Someone wanted me to make a video showing how I roll out my pie crust because they tried it and they couldn't do it. So today I'm going to make pie crust and show you guys how I make it and how I roll it out. We start by using pastry flour. I do not recommend using all-purpose flour. You can, but pastry flour works a lot better. Then we're going to add some salt. Then we're going to add some lard, and you can use softened butter for this, but if you do not add as much butter as you would lard, and you can also use Crisco. And we're going to set that aside and take a smaller bowl, and we're going to crack an egg into that bowl. Then we're going to add some vinegar to that egg, and I'm using brown vinegar today, but I would highly recommend using white vinegar instead. I just don't have any white vinegar today, so I decided to use brown instead. Then we're also going to add some water to it. Now we're going to take our egg beater and beat that up a little. Now we're going to take our flour and lard and mix that together until it's crumbly. Once that's crumbly, dump in your egg with the vinegar and water. Now we're going to knead that together until it's all smooth. Now your dough should look something like this. It might be a little stickier, but that's okay. You just need more flour to roll it out. And if you're wondering why the vinegar was so important, it is so the crust holds together but doesn't get tough. And now we're going to roll out one piece of this for a pie crust. Make sure you flour your surface, and you can use all-purpose flour to flour that. Then just take your rolling pin and start rolling it out. And then once I have it rolled out a little, I like to pick it up and go like this and collect some of that flour and then keep on rolling it out. And if you need to, you can put more flour on top here so the rolling pin doesn't stick. And you can flip that over multiple times if you want to. Once you have it rolled out, take your pie pan, and instead of greasing it, we're going to lightly flour it. And now instead of rolling our dough on the rolling pin like a lot of people do, we go like this and pick it up like that. And just lay it on top of our pie pan. Then just press it down and make sure there's no air bubbles. Once you have it pressed down, take a knife and just cut the edge of the pie crust off. And then I like to take my thumb and forefinger and pinch it like this. So it looks like that. And now for a regular pie, you just follow the instructions in the recipe, but because this is going to be a crust, I'm going to make some holes in here. And I always use this little glass vinegar choke cap. I get mine on eBay. Just press it down. And if you don't have one of these, you can just use a fork, as long as you have holes in here so the air can escape. It should look something like this, and now it's time to go bake it. And one batch of this pie dough recipe makes 3 pie crusts, so I always just take the leftovers that I'm not going to use right away and put it in a tight container and stick it in the freezer, and you can keep it in there for several months if you want. And once you're ready to use it, just make sure you take it out of the freezer and let it thaw at room temperature or in the fridge for up to 24 hours. I just pulled this thing out of the oven. It is just slightly brown and it slides around in the pan, so it's done. And you can make it a little more brown if you want to. So now we're going to let this cool off. And once this is cooled down, you have a nice pie crust that's crunchy but not tough. And you can transfer it into a different pie plate if you want to. They're beautiful. The full recipe that I use for this pie crust and the instructions on how to bake it are both in my Amish cookbook under pie crust if you guys want to look at it. The cookbook is available on my website if you click the website link on my profile. Have fun!